Hey everybody, welcome out to another episode of Death Battle Cast. Ben is getting some plumbing work done, and that wouldn't be great for the show, so I'm hosting. And today, joining us, we have Liam, as always.
Hey there.
And
Did it
then
look
we've
like I was
got
frozen?
Javi, and Max.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, what's up? Thanks for joining us, because we have a very interesting episode today, which is characters I'm not super familiar with, but characters that we've been getting a lot of submissions for in Ballot Banter. So today, Max is going to be representing Caine from Digital Circus.
Incorrect, sir.
Well, the thing they had in my sheet was wrong.
I'm going for Alastor.
Okay, Javi will be representing Caine from Digital Circus, and Max will be representing
I didn't
Alastor.
make it easy on you by having him right here with Alastor.
Okay, well, you have both of them there, don't you?
I know. I threw you off.
Yeah, no, sorry, that was somebody put notes in the sheet and they were wrong. So off to a great start. Well, speaking of great starts, 10 Tails with $100 super chat. Good Lord, 10 Tails says, are we putting these two together because they're both on the fraud watch list? Or is it because it's stupidly close to one another? Can't wait to hear a response because I have no idea what this Death Battle Cast is about. Me either, 10 Tails. I'm going to learn a lot with you.
Such an interesting debate. The comparison of these characters is so fun. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, what's the connective tissue that people are suggesting this one?
Really big hosts of these big indie shows, and they're insane. They're completely, utterly insane. And so it's just they work off each other so well. It's so fun.
All right, great. Well, Max, you want to get us started and tell us a little bit about Alastor?
Sure. Now, Alastor is the radio demon, and is one of the most powerful beings that Hell has ever seen. In fact, the most powerful overlord of them all. With raw power never before harnessed by a mortal soul, Alastor became notorious in Hell, ripping other overlords to shreds and broadcasting their screams on his radio show. Nowadays, he's seen helping around the Hazbin Hotel in the interest of seeing desperate souls try to redeem themselves only to fail miserably. He is a complete sadist and enjoys using his many demonic powers to torment anyone he wants. His demon magic can create objects out of thin air, let him teleport on a whim, create fire, become a shadow, create portals, disguise the limit, and even keep some powers hidden to make him more unpredictable. And most importantly for today's debate, Alastor's very presence will cause technology to glitch and even short-circuit to the point of breaking. This ability is passive and has great range, and Alastor can even take control of technology for himself. So, inside a digital world powered by a computer, and against a being that is already prone to random glitches, Alastor is going to make Caine's life a living hell, until Caine's data is corrupted enough to delete him permanently.
Ooh, good intro.
I should have ended on living hell. I could tell that. But I had
what makes him like a radio demon? Like what is a radio demon? You said he was like a radio demon.
Yeah, he had a radio show when he was alive, and so when he died, he got control over the radio airwaves and everything. And so he can just and he does a whole show in hell where he tortures people and kills them.
Is he uniquely powerful for a demon? Does that have anything to do with him being a radio demon?
He's specifically the strongest in all of hell of all the overlords.
How?
He made a deal.
Stapler demon. Oh, okay.
It wasn't just because radio's so powerful. He made a deal in his living life to become the strongest.
Oh, okay.
Got it. I mean, it's also what a wild flex, because we've heard the story of challenge all the overlords of hell and whatever, but this dude's no, that's my radio show.
Yeah,
I killed him on air,
live on air for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah, it's like if a serial killer was a vlogger. Hey guys,
what? Got another one for you.
Prowling the college again. Oh, yep, her.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right,
it's a true crime podcaster, but he podcasts about himself.
Right, yeah. Let's super chats real quick. Cody says, so when does this Death Battle break into song and dance? Yeah, they both sing and dance, right?
Yeah, yes.
Oh yeah.
There's gonna be a musical moment.
Right, that'd be awesome. JB says, I must mouth and I have scream. All right, Max gets it. Falco, if you actually do this as an episode, it must be a big splashy musical number. Okay, yeah.
Oh yes.
But Gillidan says Caine doesn't even need to use his powers, just bite him, bro. So, okay.
Very true.
Tommy, tell us about Caine.
Yeah, so Caine is the host of the Amazing Digital Circus. He is the most accomplished artificial intelligence ever created in his respective universe. He puts all of the characters that end up coming into the circus on wild and zany adventures that he himself creates. He creates several different realms for them to kind of journey around inside, while also subjecting them accidentally to horrors beyond imagining. It is someone already kind of made a reference in the comments already, but Caine is very much inspired by I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. And Am is the artificial intelligence in that story, and Am absolutely hates humans, wants to subject them to like infinite horrors beyond all reason, whereas Caine loves humans and accidentally does that by just putting them on these wacky zany adventures. If we are putting these two, and like we actually discussed off camera, Max and I, if we are to equalize these two characters into the one respective world, Caine absolutely dominates Alastor without a doubt. He has so many options for mental manipulation. He can transmute other characters inside the circus. He can create portals into other worlds that he creates. And also, since he is literally living data, I mean, just imagine how fast he is, being able to just electronically transfer himself everywhere. And also can completely undo any sort of technological interference from Alastor, because he's done that. He has done that in the very first episode. There is a thing called abstraction in the series, and one of the characters, Pomni, who enters into the circus, she actually ends up touching, well, another character named Ragatha ends up touching an abstracted individual, which glitches her out. Pomni touches Ragatha, also gets glitched out, and Caine comes over and just, with a snap of his fingers, fixes it. So I think Alastor's got his work cut out for him.
So you were just like, you kept throwing around Digital Circus. What is the Digital Circus besides the show? Like, what?
I mean, we don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of like this slowly unveiling mystery that's happening. We have a lot more idea of, I'm assuming because the episode itself, which came out, I think, last week and already has 45 million views. A lot of us have seen it already. So there is a company known as Caine and Abel that created the Amazing Digital Circus and created the AI of Caine. And while we don't necessarily know too much, there were two AIs that were created.
Did Caine kill Abel?
Yeah.
He might have done that.
Caine killed Abel, and became the reigning artificial intelligence. So another artificial intelligence being that is equal to Caine, he just completely absorbed and I guess became one with it. We're not really clear on that yet, but
it might be Bubble as the other one. Like Bubble's like always around Caine, and he's like a little monster, a little
exactly.
Bubble.
And so he brings people into this like digital
people
AI
put
world
on a headset. Anyone who stumbles across this computer where the game is running, when they put on the headset, they get trapped inside and can't escape. And we don't know the exact nature of if their brains are copied and they're fine in the real world or not. Presumably, that'll be answered in the final episode, which is coming in a few months. But for now, we just know that there's this computer, and people, their consciousness at least, should be there. And for this battle, we're assuming Alastor is just implanted in there. He just got teleported in there. He didn't put on a headset or whatever. He's just there.
He's just there.
Avoid, because if he just put on the headset, he would have the biology of characters in Digital Circus, which gives them... It's a whole different thing. It makes Alastor a little different, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just putting him in.
Okay. Got it. All right. So he's just magically in the Digital Circus by some coincidence or whatever.
Horrible havoc on
and
everything.
Caine could not be happier.
A new friend.
A new friend. Yeah.
Okay, great. So how do we think this? How is this gonna go?
Well,
go into some of their abilities.
So
lead us off.
As I brought up, like the main sticking point for Alastor here is his passive technology hacking. Like, anything near him, even far away stuff, like Vox's spy cameras from way far away, he will glitch those and like shut them off. And the thing about, you mentioned Caine can snap out glitches, but also like he can be horribly affected by them. At the end of episode 4, he's just sort of chilling like in his room, like he had a discussion of Gangle, and then he just in the middle of a sentence he starts just glitching uncontrollably and can't control himself. And if these glitches are like passive, like they're always happening, a snap might clear it for like a second, and then it's already back because it's just always happening. It's oozing off of Alastor, and it's just gonna continuously mess with Caine, stop him from really fighting as well as he would want to. Not that he's a good fighter anyways, but it's really gonna impede any progress he makes. While meanwhile, Alastor's passive hacking is gonna corrode Caine's like file. It's gonna like really mess up the circus in due time and eventually just crash the system. It's a computer.
You might have mentioned this before, but like, why do things glitch in Alastor's presence? Is it like you said, it's passive?
Right? Like emitting radio waves, or like
it's just sort of how it is. Like it's just a quirk, I guess, a quirky thing that like
he is like doing it, or
it's
something
him.
that is
because of him. It's never anything else. It's like, oh, here's Alastor, and you're like, oh, I broke the camera. The camera blew up because I tried to film him.
Now, to be fair, Caine is a lot more technologically advanced than just a simple camera or a watch or something as simple as like, little calculator. A lot of the times when Alastor has fought Vox, for instance, who is a living TV screen, that type of passive electric interference does not always actually work. And for this most recent episode, and spoilers, but in this most recent episode, Caine was being hacked into by Kinger, but Kinger really expressed like we need to do, and the only reason that Kinger was able to fully hack into Caine was because Caine was distracted. But the thing is, Kinger said, "Oh, like you need to make sure that because he's going to notice something's up and he's going to stop me." We also saw that at the beginning of episode 8, where Caine actually got secluded off as code into a separate section, and he broke out. So he very much has the ability to kind of, especially for something as like low effort as like just passively causing glitches, he can very much like subvert that and break through and still fix himself afterwards. But also there's plenty of things that Caine can inflict onto Alastor. So Sam, go ahead and bring up image 3.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, like I mentioned before, Caine has a lot of mental manipulation in the series. He uses these to actually build out the bodies of the amazing digital circus characters. And one of the things that he does is rip stuff from he rips information from their mind files, or he can literally manipulate them. So this is a character by the name of Jax being turned into a vegan, the absolute worst thing ever that could happen to a person. And so he's just is not able to eat meat. That kind of restricts his ability to honestly, for instance, like bite into another character who he was maiming at the time, Gangle. And then also go ahead and whip up image 4, Sam. So this is Caine actually putting, and this also involves Jax. He's hyperspeed, like putting in information into Jax's brain, which completely stun locks him. So we have a lot of instances of him just like completely stunning another character and setting them up for what could be an attack. Also, this image is so cursed. I love it.
To that point, can you show Alastor resist for a moment? I have an image. You bring up this mental trickery, but Alastor has consistently fought Vox and resisted his hypnotic control, which is straight up brainwashing. He turns like sinners in hell like to go completely against themselves. He turns an entire horde of demons into like his puppets. This mind control is really good, but against Alastor, it's useless. So he resists that kind of stuff.
Interesting. Also, Night Ghost, thanks for gifting out your one special membership. That one went to Cliptonics. So thank you. Also, y'all, thank you for the super chats. I've been logging them away. I'll get to what I can when I can. Like this one right now, which is an important question talking about Caine. Lily wants to know, can Caine eat without staining his eyes?
No, no, you can't.
Uh,
That hurts
Yeah,
every
wait, how
time.
would he eat a
Good
granola
question.
bar? Like,
Yeah.
maybe if it was soup, I could just sort of, like, you let it wash over my eyes, but if it was like a crunchy thing, like, Jesus, it's gonna get everywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna
He-
assume being a
yeah.
digital being, he doesn't need to eat because otherwise,
No,
that
yeah,
would-
they don't have to eat. That's
Yeah.
none of the people have to eat.
okay.
But, like, what if you punched his eye?
He would go
Oh,
ah.
He'd be like, ah.
Okay.
It would
But it
hurt.
wouldn't, like, do anything because he's just code. It would just be like,
Yeah.
it would just bounce
Yeah.
off of him. Okay.
So
Okay.
oh yeah,
on.
go ahead.
There you
Go
go.
ahead.
No, go for it.
Okay. Well, since we were on the topic of some things that are like resistible, there is an interesting point to bring up with the character Husk, who is he's another character that he's under Alastor's employee. Like he owes him his soul, so he has to do anything for Alastor, and he can summon him at a moment's notice to fight for him. And the interesting about him is he can shapeshift into playing cards and then come right back, which is an ability that Alastor might be able to be sort of comparable to in that he's the strongest sinner and has shapeshifting abilities of his own, which makes me question if any of the transmutation hacks that Caine has all the time is going to be a permanent solution, which is the only, like, that's one of his big, like, win cons here. And it's, like, dubious if it works. And then also, he's not going to be quick enough even if it does work, which.
Okay,
if we
so
wanna get-
Caine can just turn people into things. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
he
Yeah,
turns people into
so
stuff.
go ahead and Sam whip up image 2. So this character about to show is Gangle. Gangle gets turned into a rhino. It's funny because another character by the name of Zubul, they get turned into a flamingo. So I guess I could have also used that image because this is just like a ribbon rhino. But Gangle very much, or sorry, Caine very much has the ability to manipulate the bodies of all the characters in the Amazing Digital Circus. Again, he constructs all of the bodies of the characters in this series. Now, comparing Husk to Alastor, I don't know if I necessarily buy that too much, only in the scope of one of the things that Caine does at the beginning of episode 8, which we're going to reference again. He completely absorbs and it seemingly becomes one with another digital being that is created Abel. You know, we don't know for sure, but I mean, it's Abel. So that's another digital being that he is completely comparable with, that he like kind of manipulates as well. And something that's interesting about Alastor is even though he's the radio demon, radio waves, that is tech. That is something that Caine can manipulate within the digital circus as well. So that would be kind of that honestly is within his ballpark to manipulate. And yeah, that's kind of big difference there that I can make.
Okay. All right. So
Guide us.
technology manipulation, changing people into stuff. What is that like? What's the like? Do they like have main powers other than that? Like, are they shooting like electricity or they're fire? Like
Yeah.
you mentioned,
Yeah.
shape shifting. Like what else do they do?
Fire and electricity, those are the abilities they both can do. Alastor has these little tendrils, these demonic tendrils he can shoot out to like beat up people, create big force fields for himself that angels can't destroy. He makes portals often, which also sprout the tentacles to drag people into just unholy terrors beneath. And that's his fighting styles, using those tendrils, fire, explosions. He has a lot of like magical abilities like that.
Okay, just as a
They
demon.
both.
Yeah.
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 You go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so Caine, because of all of the different worlds that he creates, I mean, he creates like lava worlds, candy worlds, ghost worlds, sea worlds, like everything he can, like any element that he can like create in his worlds, he's able to have complete control over. And also, he makes NPCs in each of these respective worlds that he puts the Amazing Digital Circus cast in. So he even has like a small army, honestly, at his whim. There's actually, so I'll go ahead and this will be image 5, Sam. So there's a moment where Caine absolutely snaps in this most recent episode. Image 5. So there's a moment where he completely snaps and he sends all of the Digital Circus cast members into like their most like worst fears or like the things that they're like most like upset about themselves for. Forget the actual word. But this is Ragatha being subjected to one of her like deepest fears. But all of the characters there are constructs of Caine, and he's gonna be able to just like send through battlefield removal because he can create portals. He can send Alastor into like a complete copy of like his worst fear, his worst insecurity is what I was trying to say earlier.
Well,
Okay.
if he can get into his brain.
But the thing is, we do know via there's like some like musical like collabs that the Spindle Horse team has done. So they obviously have like some more background information on some of the characters in the Hazbin Hotel universe. But we do know that the character of Alastor has a lot of trauma, especially in regards to his mother, his relationship with his mother. And so that's something that Caine can absolutely, something that Caine can absolutely capitalize on.
An issue there would just be like he would have to get into his mind, and which Alastor has mental blocks against that already. And also, if he did put him into a world that's like ultimate hell, Alastor can just teleport out of it. He can instantly.
I have a
teleport on the
question.
whim.
I have a question. I'm seeing some people talk about that like swearing is not allowed in the digital circus.
Oh
Would
yeah,
that be like a would that not a hard counter like a
That
Hazbin
would-
Hotel character?
that would piss Alastor off. He would be so mad. He would like just try to say fuck, and then like, oh.
Well, you know,
It's the funniest thing that has to happen in a fight.
Yeah,
between them.
absolutely. And you guys touched on this just for a quick second, but Cody had a super chat earlier asking this. So did they get summons? I know Caine can call all the circus characters, and Alastor can summon Husker and Nifty, who have contracts with him.
Yes. Husker and Nifty are contractually obligated to do what his bidding, and he can summon them out of thin air. Like he can just bring them out. They each have like amazing fighting skills, and as I mentioned, Husk is going to be immune to Caine's transmutation, and it's just like they're really good fighters. And Caine's henchmen are little mannequin guys who are kind of dumb. A lot of his AI is dumb. Like there's like these shrimp people. There's these fish. One voiced by Zach Hadel talking about his gold. And
to be fair,
the circus members, if he summons them, they can choose not to help. They're not contractually obligated, and in fact, they don't like Caine. Especially recently, they really don't like Caine and probably wouldn't help him.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he does actually admit to the bit in the most recent episode. So even though he carries himself off very silly, he very much catches on to the fact that the cast doesn't like him. And he's able to kind of like build their own like hells essentially because of how much he's able to really like observe and make inferences off their personalities and their mind files. And he makes these really great, like that was just one of them with Ragatha, but the first hell that we see is with Pomni, and she gets completely surrounded by these crocodile gummies that like try and rip her apart. And there are a lot of crazy monsters that he makes in other worlds. So there's the Haunted Mansion world where he makes like an angel that like can hypnotize people, but also eat them and absorb their soul. He makes like a mist room where if characters breathe it in, they become possessed. So he's got a lot in his toolkit for sure. But one of the things that one of the things that Caine has like the ultimate kind of like counter to, let's say if Alastor were to try and manipulate Caine, one, he's so silly goofy that it probably wouldn't even work out in the way that Alastor would want it to. But the goal of Alastor's deals is to collect a soul, and since Caine is an AI, he has no soul to collect.
Oh, you see. I thought you might bring that up. I prepared for it.
Let's hear it.
The deals do not require a soul. He can ask for your soul, like he's done before, but in deals of Charlie, he can just ask for a favor down the road. Like he was very vague about it, but like, I will give you the information you need for a favor, and she is binded to that. She has to do it, even though Charlie is probably stronger than Alastor. She still has to abide by the deal, and there's no soul involved. There was no.
What if the favor down the road is I want your soul?
It could have been, but his favor was ultimately a part of his big master plan to finally get rid of the chains that were holding him back all of season 1 and 2. As that he was in a deal with the person that gave him his power to begin with, and he made a big masterful gambit to finally get out of that deal by using other well-placed deals of his own, and it was great. He was very smart there.
So I've seen a couple super chats of this. One from Thor G, one from Third Degree, and they're both talking about how basically can Caine even kill, because he's not allowed to permanently kill AI. It's established in lore. Sinner demons can only die, and Sinner demons can only die via angelic weapons. So Thor G says Cannibal Town citizens literally eat each other for fun and put themselves back together. And then Third Degree is talking about that only angelic weapons, and that Caine is incapable of permanently killing people in the circus, no matter how badly he maims them.
Yeah. Well, that's actually what we were trying to cover earlier.
Yeah.
Is if we just assume
Sure.
this is equal, like complete like removal of like the kill restrictions and death restrictions that both series have, then we're just treating it kind of like even footing. So whatever
Gotcha.
King can do that could reasonably kill someone, it will, and
But
vice
it's
versa.
tough as hell to kill a sinner when they've got their regeneration. They can come back from many, many grievous injuries.
Well, I think like from what I'm hearing about Caine and it being in the digital circus world, like he could just create a world that's littered with holy weapons, right? Like,
Well, he would need to like know that stuff. He would need to know
Right.
about like, oh, it's got to be holy
Yeah.
weapons, and Alastor can just as quickly poof them away, or just.
I have a
not be-
question about like the setting. Like I
Mhm.
understand that like Caine is an AI that exists in the digital circus, right? But like, is it possible to create a like hypothetical middle ground where it is a digital area where he can exist but isn't automatically given like godlike control over everything? This is
Yeah.
not like a like yes or no sort of thing. I'm just trying to create like a what is like, because like if it's he can if the condition for Caine is that like, oh, he exists in a space and can only exist in the space where he is God, but the downside is that he can't kill anybody. That feels like there's like a balance there. But if we take away one of those, it feels like we might be favoring Caine too much. Is it possible to have like a neutral sort of area?
I think
Well,
so.
the
Yeah.
one thing because
What does that look like?
I saw a super chat about this earlier too, that basically saying like, I mean, well, Caine wins because the only way to get to the digital circus is to put on the headset, which gives him complete control over anybody who does that. So I think that's the caveat on the other side, is that we're saying he got to the digital world without putting the headset on,
Yeah.
because otherwise that's an instant
Okay.
win for Caine.
So that's
Yeah,
that's
okay.
the balancing act
That'd
there.
be unfair. Okay,
Right.
okay.
I will say it because we see Caine break out of his prison at the beginning of episode 8, and then he breaks out of his like little like segmented world because he gets blocked off. He breaks out and then he becomes one with the new information that was presented, the other AI. So he, through artificial intelligence, through his like own abilities, be able to kind of like understand his surroundings like slowly over time, because he is like ever evolving, and that's how he kind of like works throughout the show. Like you
was very
see his
abstract.
personalities. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing him like break out, and like we don't know the full story there because abstract of like dots and stuff are telling us the story, but conceivably that was all within either a computer or maybe one or two computers in a given area, which is not great for Caine when Alastor can scale to Vox's technological manipulation, which took out the entire power in a whole city, a city with like 1 billion people in it. Like it's a big city, and Vox took out all of the technology in that area. So a couple of computers is child's play for Alastor to just short circuit, completely destroy. No more Circus, no more Caine.
Okay, so I have a couple other questions. So it's also somebody else being like, yeah, why can't he just spawn a holy weapon? And like, like you mentioned earlier, he did create an angel. So like
that was the funny thing, is that
even oh, go ahead.
Alastor has angelic weapons that are meant to kill angels specifically, and they do. So bringing that angel in, he's going to decapitate it and kill it. And it's a funny thing that they have an angel, and then Alastor's got anti-angel equipment. Like
Okay, that's good.
he
Because I was
takes
gonna say,
care.
because like even if for any reason he was not able to determine that a holy weapon would do it, if he is summoning in all of his little like minions and whatever, like there would be an angel on the field,
Yeah,
right? So
a
it's like
screaming angel head that's horrifying.
which that's interesting. But then also Hollow Hunter said, I want to ask about the neutral area for the fight, because human in the digital circus has some amount of tune force and creation. So does
Yeah.
Alastor also get this?
That's what we're trying to avoid, is by
Okay.
putting him in there. We don't want him to just be able to do anything the Digital Circus characters can do. So
Yeah,
that's
right,
why
right.
neutral ground. We don't want to
Okay,
give
gotcha.
him new abilities.
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
I love
Okay.
when I'm not one of the people debating, and then I get to be one on the judge's side, and I'm just hearing like words that have no meaning like bounce off of me
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
constantly. And I'm like, oh, this is what I sound like. Where I'm like, well, actually, when Google Schnartz
Exactly. And then
it's
we
have
have
to
to
be
go,
like-
okay, hold on. No, explain that. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Google
Well, I've got something that's very easy to understand, and that is that the Wiz YouTube's plush is coming very, 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 very soon. But if you want to have a chance to maybe get your hands on it, maybe for free, check this out.
Hey, Ben here. I'm sure you're wondering, Ben, why aren't you hanging with the boys talking about Caine playing with his dolls? Well, I got some dolls to play with of my own. Not like that, not like that. These guys. Starting over. Hey, Death Battle is teaming up with U2's once again. Remember that guy? Look at how smug he is, thinking he's so cool that he got his U2's first. Well, the Wiz U2's plush is even better. And starting April 3rd, you'll be able to order one from U2's itself. It's going to be like a limited time window, so as soon as it starts, go ahead and grab one, because once that window closes, you'll never be able to get it again. But there is one other way you can grab one of these little guys, including potentially a rare variant version with a gold arm. Although, I mean, the regular gray one is pretty cute too. I'm not really sure which one I prefer, to be honest. Either way, right now, there is a link in the description below that leads to a giveaway that you can enter to get one of these little guys. So check out that link, click on it, and see if you can grab one right now. And I mean, they're really solid plushes. I mean, they're like bigger than my head. These U2's guys know what they're doing. What are you doing? Click the link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, super excited that we're partnering up with U2's again. We had to get Boomstick his buddy, right? So yeah, go enter. So maybe you can win one early, and if not, then make sure you hop in on the pre-order, because that's the only time you can get one. So yeah, I want mine. I want mine. Well, I don't get the complete set, but Ben has his Boomstick, so I have to wait on mine. All right, keep going. I'm putting these.
Okay. I'd like to talk about the speed difference between these two, because I think it's pretty significant, and I'm not sure how Caine is going to resist this. So, in the finale of season 2 of Hazbin Hotel, there is a laser called the Might of Lilith, or a weapon called the Might of Lilith that shoots a laser, and it goes to another planet, the Heaven, which is a planet separate from Hell. It blasts over there in 2 seconds, and later in this episode, the laser is shot directly at Alastor, who's preoccupied at the moment. He's fighting a giant robot shark. Emily, who's an angel, she flies in after it shoots and gets Alastor out of there. And they all react before it even reaches him. And so they can all they all reacted to that big death beam that can travel interstellar distances. And when it got calced, it got around to 3 times the speed of light. And Alastor should be able to reliably scale to that, because Emily is a character you can scale to.
Okay, that's pretty fast.
So pretty huge. And as far as I know, the best speed feats in Digital Circus, the most reliable ones, are dodging bullets. And I don't think that's gonna cut it.
Well,
Lightspeed bullets.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he is Data. So if we're thinking about how data transfers through chords, for instance, then he'd be around the speed of light. But the thing is, what Caine also has is, go ahead and bring up image 1, Sam. Since he can also manipulate his own body, he has these kind of observing eyes everywhere in the circus that he can just send everywhere. So no matter what, at every angle, he has eyes on Alastor everywhere. But the thing that this image also is meant to show is the power of manipulation he has over his own body. This image is super funny, by the way. And he's completely capable of regenerating himself from damage as well. I think the biggest hurdle that Alastor has to completely destroying Caine is he would have to attack his code, because that is the only way for him to be put down. And what I find interesting is Alastor, while he does have the passive technological glitching that I've already said that Caine has resistances to via fixing it himself, and also manipulating other AIs that he's glitched against or absorbed. I forgot where I was going with that. I had to go.
It happens.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
Max
Yeah,
is like, nowhere. You were going nowhere.
No, you weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
But so he has the ability to kind of resist that. Because Alastor died in what, the 30s, 40s?
Yeah, about.
Before technology became a thing. Obviously, he's aware of it, but Alastor makes it a point to avoid technology in his own series at all times because he fucking hates it. He hates Fox. He hates TVs. He does everything that he can to avoid it. Anytime he sees that he's being seen by a camera, he either gets out of the way or like glitches it. So he has no understanding of what Caine is, I think, is the biggest crux to the argument here for Alastor.
He literally, what the fuck is AI? Like,
No,
What
literally.
is AI?
Literally. And it's not like it ever came into an advantage when he was fighting Vox. When they fought, it wasn't any sort of like technological issue abilities that Alastor had. Vox was
You're
unaffected,
saying
and
the
they
boomer argument that he doesn't
He's
understand.
yeah, he's a
boomer.
boomer, guys.
I don't know if I like agree with that. He would be like, first of all, he would be older than Silent Generation if he was in like the 30s. He'd probably be like, I don't know even know. The Lost Generation maybe? No, even older than that. Anyways, sorry. If he's in the digital circus, if they're in a digital world, then like he would know what it is because code is the matter of that world, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no way, like otherwise, if he didn't understand code or what it was or wasn't capable of understanding it, then he would essentially just be in a void of nothingness, like incapable of understanding reality. A very like sort of like Buddhist cosmological kind of idea. But I think if we're accepting that he's able to like look around and see code as matter, like how we see it when watching it, then he should be able to interact with Caine. Like Caine is
Yeah,
just a
and
being. Like
he should
I think.
he should know a little bit about like these technological things, because if you can show Alastor EXE while he was at the end of Stayed Gone, Vox is corrupted with a file called Alastor.exe, which is what spurs a big meltdown that crashes him out. So who else but Alastor could have given him Alastor.exe? He knows these files. He knows this stuff. He's not completely unknown to this.
So, did he become the executable file, or did he program the like?
Alastor's still singing to him, so I think he made it and gave it to him.
Even if he contracted somebody to do that, that's
Yeah, like
still
he's
like
got Alastor EXE.
that's a good argument against understanding technology for sure.
To
Oh,
be
yeah.
fair, in that instance, Vox did overload himself because he wanted to make a grand show of just how much more powerful he was than Alastor. So he was constantly emitting all of these different channels at the same time of himself, and he was getting heated by Alastor. Was just getting him like
He's a
molded.
rage baiter.
He was rage baiting the fuck out of him, and so by that point he was spread so thin that the city overloaded, and Alastor was just like, huh, like you lost your signal. Yeah, I mean that's it. That's all I had to add for that.
Okay, so another thing I've seen a couple super chats asking about, or mentioning, what's the deal with the basement? I've seen a couple people mentioning that Caine can trap people in the basement or the cellar, and then they forget that they exist.
That's not exactly how that works.
Whoa, yeah, that's not how that works.
It's people. You go ahead.
Yeah, so in the Amazing Digital Circus, this wouldn't be something that Alastor would come across because, like we were saying, this is even footing. So characters that are subjected to or just they are at their mentally lowest, they abstract. So abstraction in the Amazing Digital Circus is their bodies completely deform and turn into this black mass of eyes. And Caine doesn't really know how to fix it or wants to deal with it, so he just opens up a portal into the basement. and puts all of these abstracted individuals into this reality and closes it, and they're trapped there. Like they haven't been able to really get out. Now next episode we might see them again, but
Yeah, I might see those old buddies come back up.
yeah. But what I think is interesting too, Liam, we were talking about, well, wouldn't Alastor have kind of this like understanding of like matter and digital because he would be there presently? All of the digital circus characters do actually have the like a limited ability to manipulate their surroundings and like conjure things in the same way, and so did the Able AI as well. And Caine completely stalls that, in addition to also like for the digital circus cast, but also for the AI when the new AI got introduced, it was making things. Caine broke out of his prison and completely like ate him.
Oh yeah. Caine could overpower them, but if they're able to do that, then that is an indication that like a character that is in that world is able to perceive
Totally.
what
Yeah,
this
he'll
is.
see
Totally.
what's happening around him.
But who's
Yeah.
better at it? Caine. Who's better at
dad.
doing that? Caine.
Better at destroying reality around him.
Well, who is
Well,
better
absolutely.
at
The
reality
moment
warping? It's
Alastor sets foot
like an important
in the
question.
circus, it's going to be glitches galore. It's going to be like that glitch gremlin showed up. It's going to be a horrendous.
Glitch gremlin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you an
It's gonna be
AVGN reference? They're throwing that in.
It just
I like
popped in.
You know, I always, when I watched AVGen when I was a child, when I was a child in middle school, I thought of Glitch Gremlin as being like, that's a late series AVGN. And now in the year of 2026, that was like 2009.
Yeah, well, but no, he not only is it like something that he'll just be able to do because technology's around, but Alastor can create glitches in just reality whenever he's like aura farming. Like the world around him will glitch when he's just being all creepy and shit. So the digital world is going to be, it's already fickle. It already glitches a lot and is not well designed. So having a
Skyrim.
bomb like Alastor, who's like comparing to like what's able to affect an entire city, that kind of glitching potential is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, that's what Guild is saying. Contact with abstractions glitch the main cast. So could that be a win con? Could like
Trying to glitch
Could-
Alastor.
could Alastor make a contract with the abstractions?
You want that there?
Like
Well, actually, it's interesting you bring up the contracts because Alastor's control over himself is also not infallible because he is also limited to the constraints of a contract as well. Now, he is the most powerful sinner in hell, but it's important to note that there are more powerful entities in the Hellvite verse. For instance, the Goetia are Hellborn citizens. They're Hellborn royalty. And what's the creator's name of Hell of Lost?
Disney-Pop?
Yeah,
Oh,
Visipop.
yeah.
She mentions that the strongest sinner as hell is nowhere close to as strong as like a Hellborn royal. So there are limits to it. I mean, he gets like completely almost one shot by Adam, for instance. Now that was a battle of physical, right? There's a lot more to this fight where it's the
Yeah,
mental,
that
the biological
Who's-
manipulation, etc. But one of the reasons why Alastor is so strong is because he made a deal with another demon, at Rosie, and she controls him like normal. So I would be interested to know how a deal between Caine and Alastor would work.
Well, I mean, Caine is very clear about what he wants and what he desires. He is not subtle and is pretty easy to fool. Even when he was going on his villain arc in the latest episode, he was about to figure out Kinger's doing something that's going to kill me. I should probably see if Kinger, and then like Pawnee's like, we hate your adventures, we hate you, and he immediately forgot about Kinger to like deal with that. He can be emotionally swayed every which way, and Alastor can take advantage of that. And when it comes to a deal, like Caine's not taking a deal. He's not gonna have a big bargain like Rosie. He's not. That's not how he operates.
Well, also, so Butternugget Super Chat says in the episode, the reason that Kinger could hack into Caine's codes, he specifically said, I can just conjure his code. Alastor does not have in a neutral space.
So yeah, it's not about, he wouldn't be able to conjure the code or anything. It would just be eroding the code in the Circus because of his glitches. Like he's just glitching
So-
the entire computer and PC
Yeah.
to like wipe him out.
Yeah. So the only way to deal with Caine is to literally have a computer and code. Like, because Kinger couldn't just do it. Like, even the characters make a comment on it. He's like, I just need Kinger's just like, I just need a computer. So literally, like, they had to it took a bit, but
Yeah, Pomni makes like a door to go.
Pomni makes a door into an office and she gets one and brings
Yeah.
it to Kinger, and he just kind of does his thing. But that's that's where Alastor being a boomer comes into play, because he's looking up the code.
Code.
I would really want to know where that Alastor.exe came from, though, because like
yeah, he
it
does know
maybe
this stuff. Is what I'm saying.
Well-
He's with the times. Like time moves forward, and he's immortal in hell. He has seen technology rise and come to understand it. He just hates it.
I just don't think it matters. I just think that like
Yeah.
code is matter in that world. So if he's in that world, he's interacting
is
with it the same way that he
glitched raw
interacts with
matter.
anything else.
He is
That
glitched
feels
reality.
like a verse equalization thing.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
like, well, he doesn't actually know what, you know. I think it's fine. That's how the fight happens, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
in my
Real quick. So thank you guys for all the super chats. Also anybody who did a super chat with a suggestion, we don't read those. Otherwise we'll just flood everything. But every death battle, go check the description. There's a submission form. That's how you can submit whatever you want. We do look at it when we're deciding matchups. So, but thank you for the super chats. And Vampiro says whoever loses may lose their mouth, even though they must scream, "Sorry, I had to." Yep, that's the pun will be that if we ever do this episode. And then Third Degree also talking about, I've seen a lot of people have been like, this is all about like figuring out the neutral space and everything. And like Third Degree
how
saying the
they're gonna
matchup
play
doesn't
out.
work unless you either change the rules of the characters to consider other methods of winning besides death, like submission or being banished to another world. I mean, being like banished to another world that they could not get out from, we'd consider a win, you know, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But
that
they
could
can both
potentially fall into
teleport.
the
They
Right.
can both
Yeah.
get out of these situations.
but they can get
Now-
out. Yeah.
Now, the thing is, though, okay, now that we talked about teleportation, the thing is, though, no sinner in hell can leave the
Pride
seventh
ring.
ring of pride. They cannot leave the pride ring. So when he teleports, he's teleporting inside the pride ring. He's not teleporting through dimensions. He can't go back into the human world, for instance. Now with Caine, though, Caine very much makes separate worlds that he teleports in between. So I do find that interesting. I think that could be kind of a hard hurdle for Alastor to
think-
kind of cross.
Regardless of the realm he's in, he's still being able to glitch up the code of this game. It's all still composed in the Circus, and you can still have access to like ruining this computer and world. Like wherever he is,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
I just thought of
Also-
it as like a domain expansion.
Yeah,
Like, just
domain
open the domain.
expansion.
All right, Lord Blizzard has clarification. Alastor.exe is just Vox's memory file dedicated solely for hating Alastor. The file is also followed by various insults to AI in his time period. And then Thorgy was also saying that.
Unclear.
Oh.
It's
Yeah,
more,
but
it's a really kind of a it's a really short gag, so we don't know the full nature of it, but it was spurred on by a lot of hate, and he was mad. Like it said that the Alex.exe is found in your file. We're gonna shut you off to prevent any further damage to your system. So we're not sure what exactly that was.
yeah, I saw someone else say they interpreted it. Oh yeah, Thorgy, the Alastor code was just a comedic representation of Vox's anger at Alastor as he crashed out. How I
Yeah.
interpreted it.
I
Okay.
can see it that way too, but it's still like, regardless of that specifically, there's still just the general hacking and like disrupting technology
Yeah.
and controlling it.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
I got you.
great.
I got you.
No,
I'm just
just
saying
for
that
the
was
support.
wait, I thought he uploaded a file to this person. You know what I mean? Like, and that's I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, no, the understanding technology and whatever, like that. Anyway. All right. Let's see. So another thing I've seen, hobby people are talking about Caine's one moon girlfriend. But also I saw somebody else mention that he created the sun and moon.
Yes. Everything in the Circus he created.
Yeah, he created
Everything.
But-
So
But that's
yeah.
hard because it's not like
It's not like
it's
yeah.
not like we
Not
can't like
like
calc
Titan.
that to be like creating a sun, right? Because it's like it's a digital world, right? He just
on
like
the cartoon sun.
he
that
coded a
wants to
sun,
kill
you know, like
Yeah. No, that's why I didn't make a comment about it earlier. I mean, it's cool. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you made a little sun, but it's not. I mean, it's a cartoon sun that talks and like hates people. You know.
and burn shrimp for you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else that y'all want to bring up? I mean, so we kind of sped past the speed thing real quick, but I do want to go back to that because so Max, you have multi-faster like 3 times the speed
Yeah,
of
3
light,
times
and
faster than
then
light.
Yeah.
and you're saying Caine because he is
Just because of being a computer.
information is
I
like
have a question for. Is that like
Yeah.
stated in the series? Like he's
No.
like somebody says, I can travel like at the speed of light because I'm data, or is that just
No.
inferring? Is that
No,
was Max?
It's just inferring.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, it really the best stuff is bullet dodging.
Okay. I don't know if
Um,
I don't know if I buy that unless it's like explicitly stated because we don't know what like traveling through wires is in the world. Like, is that him dodging or is that him going to a different world?
also hold on. What is the digital circus run on?
It seems to be a
So-
computer. Just like a
so
little computer.
it seems to be.
It might be
'Cause-
the digital
'cause-
might be on a computer. I'm just
Well, because now we need to know the specs of that computer because that can help us determine
Yeah, well,
how fast it's processing.
it's like a 90s computer. It's a square.
yeah. No, it's funny because so the first ever there's like a scene in the newest episode where it shows all of the files of the characters that have like joined the circus. So the main cast that we see is not the first cast of characters. There were like I think upwards of like 12 or 15 other characters that came into the circus and then abstracted and now they're locked away. But it's like it happened in the 90s.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I mean, this is a world where an AI is capable of as much as it is.
It's an advanced
I guess
AI.
you could like compare it to because still like whatever Caine is absolutely the most like most intelligent artificial intelligence ever. Like not in our like we don't have something like that in our world, right? So I guess I was even thinking about this earlier. But you could maybe compare it to, for instance, like we made it in our Stitch versus Rocket episode because Stitch has the mind of a supercomputer. Maybe you can compare his mind or how Caine works to that supercomputer as well, which I think operates like on quintillions. To my knowledge, I forget the name of the supercomputer from that episode, but
This is a 90s computer.
Okay.
it is. But 90s computer with artificial intelligence.
What are your thoughts on that, Liam?
I think it's unless it's like said, we can't really like
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah, that's
I
fair,
I,
that's
I
fair.
understand the idea that like code can move at the speed of light, but I don't know.
So-
Again, like the world that they're in is like code, but it's like a physical world, like but it's just made of code. So I don't know.
Like,
I would
with
probably
its speed
lean
advantage
Alastor's
that
speed.
like superior, it's gonna be just quite the cat and mouse chase of like Caine trying to get him to use some of his hacks, and Alastor stops some of his glitches and teleports out of sight so he can't do it until eventually the code is just overcomes Caine, glitches him to the point of no return. And
If they
fries
had
him.
like a reality warping like beam struggle.
Duel. Yeah.
Oh god,
You know, they were like going, ah!
Ah!
Caine would absolutely win out.
Stronger.
Caine would
Depends.
absolutely win
win
out. So in
Go
Caine's
ahead.
office is all like a bunch of snow globes of all the different worlds he's created, and I wish I nabbed a picture of this. But he has so in his office, he has the 2 walls,
Yeah.
like leading up to his desk, and literally like to the brim, there are like several snow globes, on like I think it's like 3 shelves or 4 shelves. So I'm like off the top of my head, like I'm gonna say like there's like 10 snow globes per shelf. So that's like, let's just
It's got a lot
like
of
make difference. Like
worlds.
like 80 worlds going off at
Yeah.
the same time.
Okay.
Like that he has on reserve.
Like we don't know
So-
the exact size of those worlds, but it's still like pretty huge to have all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Alastor, in terms of like raw strength, the best thing you can do for him, he helps the other overlords contain the might of Lilith when it explodes, and that is stated that it's going to destroy half the pentagram, and that's that's the entire big city that they're in, which is has a population of about 1 billion. The result, people have calculated many different ways. It usually lands between mountain to island level whenever you split the diff between all the overlords. And it's kind of charitable because Alastor is the strongest of all of them. But splitting the diff, it's around that mountain island level range when it was calced. But
Compared to worlds?
Yeah,
'cause
Caine absolutely has
these
the
little
force
digital
strength
worlds.
advantage for sure.
But I'm not sure how vast those worlds are because I have a little thing to show. Wacky Watch, if you could show Wacky Watch, Sam.
I just got a super chat about this actually.
We see in his Wacky Watch when Pomni is out into the void and Kane's gonna go grab her. We find out that she is 3 kilometers away, and then the whole like circumference of like the whole circus we can see there is around like 12 or so. Whenever you're just comparing to the 3 kilometers distance that Pomni is, it's
12
not
kilometers, 12 and a
as-
half kilometers.
Yeah, it's not that huge. It's not as vast as we're made to believe.
Well,
But
that
even
is
if like
interesting.
even if you're getting to the cosmic stuff, like
Yeah.
stars, they're real stars. Even if that, the speed advantage is so intense, and like the corrupting is too like that's just to the code. That's like not about even power anymore. It's about hacking him. So it's still a valid way to win. Is just like outlasting, teleporting at a moment's notice, and just blitzing around until Caine is kaput.
Yeah, Gilda did want to toss out there when we were talking about the speed thing that Caine does like instantly move between different locations in the circus, and then also he has teleportation. So
Yeah,
like,
that was
I mean,
used. The instantly
speed, though.
moving to the void was like brought up as like a big thing, but then we found it's just 3 kilometers away.
yeah, but if it was okay. Anyway, faster than the eye can see, we could say, but that's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Like a lot of the chat is really just debating back and forth. Like, this is a very very fun one.
Fight each other.
It's a Wacky Watch. Can we really trust what it says?
It's a wacky watch.
It doesn't say accurate watch. It says
And it's a Waccurate watch.
Scientifically accurate
Yeah.
watch.
Accurate. That's super
all right.
funny.
Dad, what are you?
let's
What are you
let's
thinking?
do final arguments while I
Yeah.
put up the poll.
Okay. Do you want me to go first or
Go for it, Max.
Okay. So the crux of this whole debate is just whether or not Alastor is going to outlast and keep Caine away from him before he can perform his hacks. And I think he very much can. His hacking ability interrupts Caine whenever he wants to do anything. He can teleport out of sight and to the point that Caine can't do anything to stop him. It is so like way faster than Caine to the point that Caine's not going to get a break. And because Alastor's technological manipulation compares to the city wiping out electrical powers of Vox, it's going to be able to fry the entire circus and computer that hosts this whole thing. And if you say that the circus is on different computers, it's not more than a city's worth of computers. So it's going to be able to wipe him out and just take care of his code like that.
Okay. Interesting. We're good to Javi's already. They said I spelled it wrong. Look, I'm going by what was in my sheet. That was they had so apparently they had the wrong people representing the wrong thing, the characters, and the characters are misspelled. So you know what? Just go with it.
You misspelled them.
What?
I think that was Caine and Alastor both glitching the cast today.
Yeah, they're messing up. They're messing with you.
They're all mad.
Well,
Spelled
Well,
correctly.
we're gonna go by that anyway. What's really annoying is I literally had typed it as Caine, and then I went back and double checked the sheet that was written for me, and I was like, oh, it doesn't have an E. And I
Oh,
deleted
you
it.
misspelled it.
Yeah, it's not my
Oh.
fault. Anyway,
That's so funny.
All right, Javi, final argument.
So, I mean, the thing is Alastor a little bit faster? Sure. But is Caine absolutely monumentally stronger? For sure. I'm talking 80 different worlds that are going live at the same time, which can equal absolutely around the size of the pentagram, which, mind you, the clip that you showed earlier is actually of the digital circus itself, which is just on that small island, versus his other worlds that are very much more expansive. We have a lot of instances of Caine just completely transmuting other characters, having fought and deleted other AI on his level as well, being able to also seclude characters into their own hells through different portals to different worlds that Alastor just has no way to get out of. I think Caine has this in the bag, and Alastor is going to be in for a wacky hell.
For a wacky
You're
hell.
trying to think of something.
Wacky hell.
All right. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap up the poll because I will do another one with the correct names. But
I wanted to
we'll
describe.
We'll see where that goes.
What do you
What do
think,
we-
Chad? Who do you think wins?
Oh man, I think Max has made a very compelling argument, and the speed thing is really interesting. But I think like just the overwhelming cartoon force world creating bullshit of Caine just might be a little too powerful.
I think that it is possible for him to just Kanan for just overpower Alastor. I think it's interesting that the like world of Amazing Digital Circus is actually not very large. I think that's like that reads like a huge counter argument to the power thing. I think I think Alistair's clearly faster, and I think the technology thing, he kind of feels like a little like a Caine kryptonite, you know? Um I don't know who would win. I think Alistair's probably the underdog, especially judging by that vote. I think Alistair winning is definitely the more interesting result. So I'm gonna go Alistair.
All right.
All
And we're
right.
gonna wrap up the poll, then I'll redo it with their
I
names
wonder who
spelled
won the
correctly.
poll.
But yeah, let's see. I ended the poll. It's taken away. Okay, Caine with a large 77%.
Wow.
Now I'm gonna do another one just very quickly with their correct names.
That was the only hiccup. Now that the names are correct, I'm sure to
Yeah.
I do think that like the argument that he can passively glitch things is important because even with Kane's ability to like fix it immediately, that's still an active thing that he has to do. Whereas Alistair is like just passively doing. Like he can focus on actively doing other things while Caine is actively fixing this. Not that it's like a huge thing, but that is like a slight unbalancing.
Uh-huh.
All right, here we go. Here's the poll with their accurate names. Let's see if that has changed anything
Redeem yourselves.
whatsoever.
Come on.
We'll give it just a second. But this is a really fun debate.
Oh yeah. I
was-
love this match. I think this is so
really cool.
fun.
Yeah, and so all y'all, if you're members, we'll be doing our champion cast just for you coming up right after this. Just stick around, you'll get redirected into that one. And don't say anything now, Max and Javi, but it was very fun as you both clearly know both of these characters.
Yeah.
And I would love when we go into champion cast if one of you are just like, oh yeah, no, this person absolutely gets dumpstered. So like we'll see.
No.
I want to hear your honest opinions now that you're not trying to win. So we'll do that in champion cast. We're gonna go ahead and end the poll now that they're spelled correctly. And is it exactly the same? It is exactly the same. Not a single person changed their vote. 77% to Caine. I think it's clear who wins this one. Congratulations, Javi. Max, well fought. All right, cool. Don't forget to go enter the Wiz Plush giveaway so you can maybe get one without having to buy one. That'd be cool. But other than that, please go buy them. They'll be up soon. So, all right. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in the next one if you're not a champion. But if you are, we'll see you in just a second. Thanks.